Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bold Unstoppable Show. As I want to welcome you all, no matter where you are, where you're viewing from, how you're listening to us. Welcome, 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 Queens. Today's show is going to ignite the fire within you and equip you with some tools you need to command your empire with confidence, wisdom, and grace. As women, we stand on the shoulders of unstoppable queens who came before us, who built legacies, led nations, and shattered barriers. The pages of history, as highlighted in the Unstoppable Woman's Manifesto, which I'm going to show, teaches us that commanding an empire is not just about leading, it's about mastering the 12 critical aspects of success that shape everything from our mindset to our movements to how we show up. So let's be honest. Why not engage in this now? Why is this the moment and one of the most pivotal moments in time for us to rise and embrace these aspects in our businesses, our careers, and in our lives? Because the world is watching us, ladies, us particularly those of us that call ourselves or know we are queens. And because there's a generation of bold, unstoppable women waiting for you and to hear your message about being a bold, unstoppable woman, let's talk about and show them how to get it done, ladies. So today, I want to say our incredible panel of queens are women who have built, led, and inspired their own empires. And we're going to uncover some of the first three critical aspects every bold, unstoppable woman must embrace to take command of her throne. And by the end of the show, I want all of you watching us, listening to us, to feel empowered, ready to act boldly, and equipped to build your legacy. So be sure to grab, if you haven't already picked up your copy of the Unstoppable Woman's Manifesto for the 12 steps, and join our movement for updates, live events, and of course, a lot more. Because you know what? Your empire gets started today, ladies. So I want the panelists to introduce themselves. I'm Dr. Rochel Marie Lawson. I'm known as the Queen of Feeling Fabulous. And we have some fabulous ladies with us. So Shannon, why don't you tell the listeners real quick a little bit about you?
Sure. Hi, I'm Shannon Malone-deBenedictis. I am the owner of Paddling Creative and the lead of the fully unapologetic plus size women's movement. I'm a two-time Emmy Award-winning documentary television producer who always found myself as being the only fat woman in the room after 20 plus years in media. And after that long career, I'm kind of sick and tired of sitting in the shadows, and I refuse to do it anymore.
You go, girl. See, that's an unstoppable queen right there, commanding her empire and leading with brilliance. Next, we have the Miss Trina. Trina, tell us about you.
Yes, my name's Trina Ramsey Lipscomb. I'm recently married, and I am the CEO of the Just Do You Institute for Women's Empowerment. I work with women over 40 to help them to live the lives that they deserve, to say yes to themselves and no to anything that does not inspire them. I also have 30 years in the nonprofit sector, so I'm also a nonprofit advisor and fundraising expert. So I bring all of that together to kind of play seamlessly to help people to be better leaders and to live their best life.
I love it. So there you have it, our fabulous panelists for today's show. We may have someone else pop in, but for right now, we're going to dive into this engaging and heartfelt conversation about being that bold, unstoppable queen. Now, the first question I want to ask you, ladies, is, in your opinion, what are the first three critical aspects every bold, unstoppable woman must embrace to command her empire? And why are they so transformative? Who wants to take? Shannon, take that question first.
I'll jump first. I think you need to be a really courageous queen. I think that in order to take bold steps, you need to be willing to make a leap, whether that leap is successful or not. And if you put everything into it, you can learn from those mistakes, from those hiccups that happen. I like to use a quote from a movie, Firefly, where He's assassinating someone, but he says it's a good death. There's no shame in this. Sometimes making mistakes and being courageous to make that mistake is a good death, and you learn and you grow from that. And I think that's a really important thing to be a bold and courageous business leader and just woman in general.
All right, Trina, what do you have to add to that?
Awesome. So I'm going to go to my next one because my first one was bravery. So we're on the same page. Authenticity. You got to know who you are, and you got to be willing to be fearless and open and own yourself. I spent a lot of years kind of hiding in the shadows or trying to make myself smaller until I hit my 40s. And then I was like, no more. So being authentic and actually digging into the things that make you unique, that's really where your super special sauce is. And you can dig into it and you can mine it and hone it for something brilliant.
I love it. Now, when it comes to extrapolating just a little bit more information about what's going on, about for us queens that want to lead and really command our empire, how important do you think it is to have a vision for leading and commanding that empire? Trina, why don't you go ahead and take that question first?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I don't know who coined this quote, but it's, if you don't know where you're going, any path will do. You really have to be able to set a trajectory forward and have something to aim towards, because otherwise you're living on autopilot and you're really kind of living by default and whatever's coming your way. And it's also going to water down your results if you're not clear about where you're going. You don't have to know every single thing, but you at least have to set your direction.
And Shannon, do you have any thoughts about having a vision when it comes to being a bold and unstoppable queen?
Yeah, I mean, I know that people I work with, I've used the phrase like there's a method to my madness, but it's not meant as like, it's not that it's not thought out. I think that if you need to achieve a goal, and you have to have a vision to also bring your collaborators with you, to bring your team with you, because it's a team effort. So frequently you can't do it all on your own. You're just not an island. So having that vision and instilling that in your collaborators, your teammates, your partners is going to help you achieve that success. So you have to have that vision to bring them along.
I love it. Very good words of wisdom. We have Wendy Alexander that has joined us, and we'll get her involved in just a few moments. I think for me, what I want to share is like being a bold, unstoppable queen, commanding your empire. You can't get to a place if you don't know where you want to go. And having a vision is very important. It gives you a destination to arrive at. Now, the journey to that destination will ebb and flow and change as it needs to. But if you don't know where you want to go and you don't have a vision of it, you can't get to it. And when I think about some of the most successful queens in the history of our world, they had a vision. They started their empire with a vision of what they wanted to do. And so I think it's super important. And we have people chiming in. Hey, Aura. It's super important to have a vision, to understand that, this is where I want to go. I may not know how to get there, but I know what I want it to be when I do arrive. Now, my next question, ladies, is why is now the time to rise? We live in a moment of incredible change and opportunity. Why do you believe now is the most pivotal time for women to incorporate these aspects into their business, their careers, and heck, in their lives? Whoever wants to take that first, go ahead and jump in.
I might jump in and say, so I think if we look at the world the way it is right now, it's been led by men for a long time, and somehow we're still challenged. And what I've seen growing up in South Africa, I lived in the United States for a while, been in Europe and London, and obviously reside in Australia and have been in Australia for a number of years. When I see women step up with their ability to nurture and to impose, I suppose, empathy and compassion, I see that as a different type of leadership. And I've actually seen change last when that kind of leadership is at the forefront. But if you're leading from that very masculine energy, we all know, we can see the state of the world, there's challenges there. And so I think that if we want, especially the future for our kids and our grandkids, it is time for women to step up. It is time for the feminine to rise, because we rise in different ways. And we tend to
agree.
have
What type of
longer
mindset do you
impact.
What type of mindset do you think, ladies, it takes for us to rise, like Wendy is sharing? Not so much having to step into being our masculine aspect, but really stepping into being our true, authentic self. What type of mindset does it take a bold, unstoppable woman who wants to command her throne to do or to be? What are your thoughts on that? Shannon, why don't you take that?
I'm going to kind of jump on something Trina said, and something that I have embraced is that I think for so long as a heavyset woman, I did everything I could to make myself small. I made myself because there were all these preconceptions about what a heavyset woman would be. She's heavy, she's domineering, she's loud, she's pushy. And what I did, I was holding myself back. And, you get to a point, especially now, I realized, no. I have talents, I have gifts, I have the ability to lead other people and show other people, particularly women, that you shouldn't sit in the shadows. You should be in the forefront. And so empowering other women, helping them and showing them, I think that's a really, really important time to say, look, the shadows is not where we belong. We belong front and center, and the territory that is ours, we're going to take it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I love it. We have comments in the chat here. One of the beautiful ladies watching, Shannon, she says, thank you for sharing this. Yes, indeed, that's holding oneself back when you put yourself in the supposition of how you're supposed to show up. And she said, we no longer need to be in the shadows. We need to stand out and be in front and be bold and unapologetically for being out in the front. Now, ladies, when it comes to the power of a queen. Okay, we're all queens, and I think even ladies that don't even recognize that they are queens have this power. What are your thoughts about awakening the power within you as a queen commanding her empire and being unapologetic for that? Trina, why don't you take that?
Yeah, it really takes a lot to understand who you are and who you're not. I think as women, we have been scripted quite a bit from very, very early in life to that this is what a girl is, and this is, you've got to be mild, you've got to help everybody, you've got to, speak when spoken to, and all these types of things. But it's really important for you to go in and really understand who you are and who you're not, and own that, as you said, unapologetically, so that you can stand when adversity comes, because it will. Adversity will come. And you've got to have that determination, and you've got to be clear about who you are and where you're planning to go. And sometimes, yes, you can take a pivot, but keep going and own your flyness.
Oh, I love it.
Absolutely.
I really do I love this conversation, because I think, ladies, there's not enough dialogue about this. And so often we apologize for being that sassy, bold, unstoppable woman, right? But I don't think any of us need to apologize for being the queens that are bold and unstoppable and really leading to command our empires. And so when it comes to cultivating emotional intelligence, I want to ask you ladies this: how can emotional intelligence, particularly understanding and managing emotions, help women overcome the challenges and build stronger connections as they lead their empire? Wendy, go ahead.
So going a little further on what Trina said, I think it's really important to do that silent, that stillness, and start to take ownership of your own voice. Because what I've seen is that women, I work with a lot of women, and I see that they really struggle in owning the voice, in asking for what they need, especially in that midlife years. They in corporate, whatever, and they just think they're supposed to manage the symptoms of midlife, menopause, and all of that. So the conversations never happen in the workplace, and then they don't get the support that they need. And then then it becomes a twofold resentment. One is there's a resentment that they haven't owned the voice and actually spoken up. And the other is that nobody understands and I'm not getting the support. But the thing is, if we don't ask for the support, or even at times command the support, then we don't get it. And so then the changes never happen. And everyone goes on the way they've always gone on. And so I think I love this midlife years because I know that my voice has gotten stronger. I've gotten bolder. And I also try and help other women get stronger and bolder and be courageous. You know, we have visions, but then we also have to be courageous to go and own the vision and take hold of it and execute it.
Love what you're sharing, Wendy, because I think so oftentimes I've always been a person that have said and spoke my mind since I was a little girl. And when I was little, it used to get me in trouble. And it was never what I said, because what I said was always what needed to be heard. But it was always, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So fast forward, I'm not a little girl anymore, and I still say it the way I say it. But I think it's more well received because I do have some years behind me now that people can actually understand where I'm coming from and know that I'm coming from my heart to help you. I may not deliver the message in a sugar pretty package, but you get the message. I think it's a lot better received when you understand that I'm coming from a place that I want to help you to also command your empire and be unapologetic for it. And so, ladies, my next question to you all is, to be a queen, we know commanding our empire, it takes a bit of discipline, right?
Yes.
What are some key things that you would like to share with those that are listening to us and viewing us with regards to having the discipline as a queen, commanding her empire, and being able to deal with all the aspects of what queens have to deal with when we are commanding our empire? Trina.
Yeah, well, I definitely think you've got to be organized and focused. And that means avoiding the bright, shiny syndrome, which I had definitely been guilty of. You know, it's so he's like, oh, that looks good. Let me try that. And then like all of a sudden you're midway through the year and you actually haven't accomplished what you had set out to because you allowed yourself to become distracted. So I definitely think there's so many tools from planners to, you know, timers to really help you to stay focused and also to be disciplined to do the things that you don't love to do, to be able to actually manage your business and make sure to put first things first.
I like that a lot. You know, so oftentimes we can find ourselves getting distracted by doing the things that are easy, but doing the things that are easy don't necessarily bring in the revenue or the career aspirations that we seek and we desire. And so words of wisdom for all you queens out there is to do the hard thing first part of your day. And then everything else is like peaches and cream or an ice cream. If you have to eat the peas and the broccoli first part of the day, you are ready for you an ice cream sundae or like a pecan pie or during this time of the year, you know, all that good stuff. But do the hard things first, and then everything else just becomes a little bit easier. And when you start doing that, you'll notice that you get a lot more done because it will prevent that awful P syndrome, which is called procrastination. It will prevent that. And then you'll feel more successful and more gratified with what you were able to accomplish at the end of your day because you started with the hardest thing first and everything else becomes easy. Now, I want to ask you ladies this question. You know, to be a queen, when you think about the queens that have led some of the most successful empires in our world, I'm going to go way back from Queen Nefertiti to Queen Elizabeth II, they had to have a resiliency within their mindsets so that they could create lasting legacies. And maybe in their minds at the time they were doing it, they weren't striving to create the lasting legacy, but that's what we've all experienced from what they've done. And we all know that setbacks happen on our part, different various parts of our journey. How can developing a resilient mindset help women turn obstacles into opportunities and build legacies that inspire our future generations of female coming up behind us today. Who wants to take that?
I'll take
Okay,
it.
you go, Shannon.
Oh, okay, we'll both address it. So most of my work has been in wildlife filmmaking, and one thing that I've learned from the wild is creatures like elephants and whales lean on grandmothers and older females to pass down wisdom to keep the species thriving, to keep the pod and the herd thriving. And that to me is a great way to set your legacy. That's a great way of demonstrating resilience of when you have, whether it's colleagues or family members or just people you're friends with, that you can inspire and nurture and help grow that next generation. So that is a way that I've learned resilience through the work that I've done, and like have these role models of like just incredible elephants and hyenas and whales and whatnot. So just wanted to kind of bring that point up.
Yeah.
Wendy,
That's
do you want to
amazing.
share something?
Yeah, so for me, I've learned resilience through identifying what to say no to, because I think that women in particular struggle with no. And so we tend to say yes to everything. You know, when it comes to the career, we're helping everyone out there, we're helping the partners out, we're helping the children out, we're helping the parents out, the community. And one of the things I learned was that I had to put myself on my own priority list. And I had to get really good and really comfortable with saying no, because the guilt that sometimes comes for women when they say no can overwhelm them. And then they end up saying yes to many things that's not beneficial to them, that's not even beneficial to anyone around them. And so mastering the art of saying no, I think is a strong way to build resilience within yourself.
I love
no
this.
Without guilt.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That's what a bold, unstoppable queen will do. We will say no. And see, sometimes we really do deep down inside want to say yes. But sometimes saying no is the best medicine that not only we can take for ourselves, but to give to others. Because sometimes when you say no, you help empower another sister, another queen to really stand in her 5-inch heels on her throne and command it like back in the day, Wonder Woman. You know what I'm talking about? So
that's it.
And I make myself, because I know we all in the same generation, you know, Wonder Woman, she had that little suit on and, you know, yeah. So, right, ladies, we are just about at the time. And I know the show goes really, really fast. The 24 minutes of this beautiful 30-minute show goes so fast. What is one word that I want each of you to share one word with those that are listening and watching that's going to help them really stand and command their thrones as the queens or kings that they are? Shannon, go first.
Consistency.
Unapologetic.
Wendy.
Consistency.
Trina.
So I'm going to cheat and say 2 words. Choose yourself.
I love it. There you have it, you all. Queens, if you're ready to take your empire to the next level, don't forget to pick up a copy of the Unstoppable Woman's Manifesto. You can pick it up on Amazon, but also find these ladies on social media and connect with them. You know, the Unstoppable Woman Manifesto is a guide, and it has 12 aspects that allow you to lead like a queen, build your legacy, and transform your life. If you like the show, please subscribe to the show, sign up for updates on upcoming live events, and we can even go deeper on these powerful principles if you want to engage with conversation with me. And until next time, this is Dr. Rochel Marie Lawson, known as the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, saying thank you for being that bold and unstoppable and unapologetic queen that you are. And share the love with another sister as you continue your journey. Until next time, goodbye for now.
Bye.